In this episode, I'm going to unbox the Easy Drain oil valve that you see right here. I'm going to talk about why we want to use something like this in our Jeeps. I'll show you what's involved with installing one, how it works, and then we'll talk about whether it's worth it. So stick around. Hey, welcome to Cheaper Jeeper TV. I'm Dino, your host. Glad to see you here. Now, in my other Jeep Wrangler JL, my 2018, I had installed an Easy Drain oil valve and I did all of the oil changes myself. On my current 2024 Jeep Wrangler, it came with a Jeep Wave program, so the 6 first oil changes were done at the dealer, but those are done and now I want to do them myself because I save a lot of money. Now, I showed in my other videos how much money you can save by doing your own maintenance, and I also showed how easier it is to do an oil change on your Jeep if you install one of these, because of course with the Jeep Wrangler JL you just have to take the oil fill cap off, and with the oil filter on the top of the engine it is very easy to remove the oil filter. So the only messy part of the job is taking out the drain bolt underneath the Jeep, and if you're just removing the drain bolt it'll just come pouring out and spill all over your hands and possibly spill on your driveway. But when you install one of these, the job is a lot cleaner. Let's have a look. The Easy Oil Drain Valve, Easy 106P. There's the valve as well as the metal protective cap. That's what this comes with. So there's the protective cap, just keeps dust out of the opening. Now that's the valve in the open position. It's got a rubber O-ring on the back here, so when you screw it onto your oil pan, it'll have a good seal. And you can see the lever at the top. And there's the little ball inside that locks it up. So there it is open. There it is closed. Now you can see there's a lock on it, so you can't just easily bump this to make it open. You actually have to put an up force on it and then rotate it in order for that valve to open and let the oil out. So before we install this, I'll put it in the closed position and I'll just add the protective cap on it. Now I have a few extra tips to show you how this works, but first let's go and install this. Okay, I've picked a beautiful day to do this. So before I install the Easy Drain valve, I'm going to have to drain the oil in the Jeep. So I need to make sure I've got replacement oil, a replacement filter, and then I've got a pan to catch the oil that I take out this time, but you'll see once I put this on, I won't even need to do that in the future. And of course I'll need a 13mm ratchet so I can take the original drain bolt off, and a hand wrench to install the new Easy Drain valve. And of course some gloves to keep my hands clean, and let's get under the Jeep and get started. So you can see the bottom of the oil pan right there, and there's the 13mm bolt that I'll just be removing to put on the Easy Drain valve. And once I take out that bolt, the oil is going to spill out and I'm going to catch it in this oil pan right below. Now this will be the last time I'll have to do that, because in the future the process of emptying out the oil is going to be a lot simpler, and I'll explain shortly. So some people, when they drain the oil, they go and drain the oil out of the pan first, or they come up under the hood here and remove the oil filler cap and the filter first. I don't think it matters, but let's take off the oil filler cap and remove the filter. Okay, I hope I'm getting a good shot of the engine here. I'm standing at the front and pointing at the engine oil filler cap. So just get an old cloth and put it nearby, and then you can just take that off. And when you're draining the oil, that'll allow air to go in so that the oil drains quicker. Even if you don't do that, the oil will still drain out just fine. And then here is the oil filler cap. Now, you should check that it's torqued to the right specs. I'll have the torque put on the screen right here. And when you know that it is torqued at the right specs, my recommendation is to take a paint marking pen, and draw a line on both sides of the cap, the lid that's going to come off and the part of the cap that stays in the Jeep. And that way when you put this cap back on, you don't have to put it on with a torque wrench, you just have to line up these marks, and that way you know it's at the right torque spec. You just count how many twists off it takes. If I recall, when I did it on my other Jeep, it's around 5 or 6. Okay, the other thing is a 24 mil socket is what works to help remove this cap. There's 1 turn, 2 turns, 3, 4, 5, and 5.5 turns allows you to take that off. So now I'll just remove this filter and I'll catch it in a plastic bag and just, there you go. I'll put the lid here and dispose of this old filter. There's a look at it right there. Now I'll just replace the old filter with the new one, so you can see how the filter looks exactly the same. Now the thing is, this can just snap in here no problem, but before we do that, I need to remove the old O-ring and install the new one that came in the box right in there. So a little tool like this or a small screwdriver will help. So you just get under that O-ring and peel it off. There you go. So that'll be discarded. And on the new O-ring, take some oil. There's still some oil in here. And loosen this up, lubricate it, and lubricate the ring so you can slide it over the threads. And there's a wide part here just as you get past the threads, and that's where the O-ring rests. So there you go. The O-ring is all lubed up with some oil. I'll snap the new filter in and then just screw this in. Now it was halfway around when it came out, so I'll just start it off here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it'll be, oops. There you go. And now I've got my 2 white paint marks lined up, so that's torqued properly. So I'm gonna leave this just on here loosely to keep some bugs from going in or whatever. And I'm gonna go down below and I'm going to install the easy drain valve. Okay, so there's the 13 millimeter bolt. I'm gonna remove that, and then the oil will drain into this oil pan just below. And I won't be needing this oil pan anymore, because once I put the easy drain valve on, I'll be able to just catch it into a jug. A lot easier, my hands won't get dirty. This will be the last time of getting messy changing the oil. So you see there, I even tried my best to be as clean as possible, and there's still some splashes of oil that went about. And I put some plastic sheeting down, so that helps. But when I install the easy drain valve up there, the way I drain the oil will be vastly improved. Okay, so the oil is still trickling out, but I'm gonna get started with the installation of the easy drain. Now I have to put it on till it stops and then put it on one more 1/8 or 1/4 of a turn. So let's see how this goes. I got the valve open to facilitate any extra drips that want to come out. Now I get the adjustable wrench. So there's where it stopped. And now I'm going to put on either an 1/8 or a 1/4 turn, whichever feels snug enough. Okay, so there you go. Now I'm going to give you a shot of this from another angle, just so you can see how tucked up out of the way this lever is, because some people are concerned that maybe that the lever might get hit while you're off-roading and let all of your oil out, that kind of thing. There's the easy drain valve and the lever. There's the bottom of the pan, and then there's your differential right over here. So it's way up here. Let's get a shot from the other side. So here's the front tires, a steel skid plate. There's the front suspension of the Jeep. Here's the front differential. And there's the oil pan. So you can see it's kind of tucked up out of the way. The differential is way lower, the axle is way lower than the oil pan, and then up there is the oil pan. Let's get another shot. There's the underside of the Jeep, where we can see the differential and the lower control arm right here. There's a skid bar right here, and then up there is the oil drain valve. So it is kind of out of the way for people who are concerned that it might get knocked when you're off-roading. So I think the oil pan is located pretty far out of harm's reach. And of course, if you're an avid off-roader, you'd probably put a skid plate there. Now the awesome thing about when it's time to change the oil next time, I just have to get an empty jug like I have here, where I wrote old on the lid as well as on the handle, because this jug will contain the old oil that I drained out of the valve there. So all I have to do is put this jug here, and then you can see this little device here. I'll put a link in the description. It's a little nipple that just screws onto the drain valve like this, and it helps you direct the oil into your jug. So when it's time to change the oil, all I have to do is attach this, flip the lever, drain the old oil right into this jug. Nice and clean. I don't get my hands dirty. I don't spill any oil. It makes it very easy to do. And when I'm done, I just unscrew this and I put the protective cap on. That just keeps dirt and things out of the threads. And I go fill up the oil at the top of the engine. So I'll have a link to this device here. By having this separate, so you have to thread it on, it just means that you don't have another piece of that oil valve sticking down even further. The Fumoto drain valve has this attached. At least on the easy drain, you can take this off and just makes the profile of that valve even less. And then all you have to do is go to Home Hardware or Home Depot and find the tube that fits onto the end of this metal piece right here. Okay, so that's it. Let's go fill the oil at the top because we'll be done. Now all we have to do is fill this with oil. Now it takes 5 quarts, and in Canada that's 4.7 liters of 0W20. I use Pennzoil because I understand that's what they use at the dealer as well. I've got over a liter left. I want to have just 1/3 of a liter left. The other nice thing is if I overfill, I could just turn that little valve and just let a little bit out. Okay, I've got about a half a liter left, so let me take this jug, take it away, put the cap on, start it up and see how full it is. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but after an oil change, the engine just feels so much smoother when you first start it up. Let's give it a second to settle down. It's only halfway up the stick, so I feel confident in putting in a little more. Yep, now it's at the top. Okay, so this is on good and tight. That's on good and tight. And the easy drain valve is on good and tight. Let's go down and have one last look. There's the easy drain valve. Let's have a look from the other side. So you can see in this picture here where the oil drain valve is located high enough above the jug. You just have to attach the hose that helps drain the oil from the valve directly into the jug, and it avoids any kind of mess, and it's very easy to do, and I'd highly recommend it because it takes away the hassles. Alright, well, so there you go. You saw how easy it was to install the easy drain valve. Now, is it worth doing? Well, taking that drain bolt off and getting oil spilled everywhere kind of is a barrier to the process. If you install an easy drain valve, the oil change all of a sudden becomes easy. All you have to do is flip the valve, make sure you include this little nipple to help direct the oil into the jug, collect it all into the jug labeled old, and take this to your disposal facility. It's so much easier. It'll encourage you to do it yourself, and I do it every 8,000 kilometers or 5,000 miles, and I've saved a lot of money by doing it. Now in this video I showed how doing all the maintenance items on the Jeep have saved me thousands of dollars over the years of ownership of that 2018 JL, and I intend to do the same on this. So I hope you found this interesting. If you did, how about giving the video a thumbs up? If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button and the alert bell so you'll be notified when more videos like this come out. Until the next time, I'm Dino for Cheaper Jeeper TV. Be well, stay safe, take care.